Welcome back, everyone, to Vale of the Pine, where I remembered since the last episode that I still need that little visit to the Shire, and I think this would be the perfect time to do it so I could take care of Will Whitfoot and clear that quest out of the area and be ready to do some serious questing after that. And since I now have the stable masters, it's time
Hello
to
there.
head over there. Right, there is one here to the Shire. Mickle Delving. And of course, more important than the mayor, we need to speak to Wenda Cranesville.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Ah, a patron of distinction. Welcome indeed. I happen to have some items that might enhance your adventures, and you are quite welcome to them. Even in the blackest wilderness, you can use these fine items to call on all the services found in the finest towns, keep your equipment in tip-top shape, and craft with great speed. All right. Okay, thank you.
How can I be of service?
And here you go, and safe travels. Should you pass this way another day, Pineleaf, I'll be happy to provide you these gifts again. Okay, good. Oh, yes. Remember to use the jug. And now it means I can anywhere get a vault keeper so that I can store away all those items that are clogging my inventory. Oh, yes, the wonderful gift of all those little perks that are in there. Now, let's go and talk to the mayor. Ah, the mayor of Mickledelving. A hobbit's home from home.
Hello there.
Oh, hello. Are you a visitor come from to the Shire? Oh, it is my duty and pleasure to welcome you to our great country, then. I am Will Whitfoot, Mayor of Mickledelving and of all the Shire. Who are you and from where do you call? My name is Pineleaf Needles. Ah, I tell him that my home, saying only that it lies beyond the misty mountains, and of my long journey through the countless lands that led me to the village of Mossford and Swanfleet. It is there that I met Fridolin Took, you see, and oh, it would be Fridolin, wouldn't it? It is always a took. Well, I, for one, am glad to have you come visit us. If you and your kin are indeed distant cousins of ours, then I say that you are kin of mine. You are welcome to remain in the Shire for as long as you wish. There are many fine towns and villages in the Shire, so I would suggest that you visit them all. After all, I have heard more than enough complaints about my purported favoritism. Nevertheless, I am certain that the good folk of the Shire would welcome the help of a warden of your stature. Aha. Alright, good. Title awarded. Pineleaf, Creek Hopper. Hop, hop, hop. Now that matter is settled, we can resume our questing in Mossward.
You are an adventurer. My husband was once like you, but he gave it up to settle down.
He gave it down to settle down and have a family, and never looked back. But I do have need of an adventurer today, if you're interested in helping me. My husband has lost a boot. A boot. Oh, it's not just any boot. It's his favorite, and it would be a shame to discard the remaining one just because he misplaced his mate. He lost it walking out by the edge of the Wadewater to the north, and upon getting stuck in the mud, it just came free of his foot. If you can find it and bring it back to me, I would really appreciate it. Okie dokie, I shall do so. So, Geralt lost a boot. Now, let's see. I guess that leaves this one.
You look pretty tough to me.
You're not scared of anything, are you?
Maybe you can help me then. The Mossmore Town bully has dared me to run to a certain spot north of town, right on the very edge of the Wadewater, and then come back, all in 10 minutes. Now, I'm not afraid, but I want to be certain that it's possible, right? So, what do you say to using no more than 5 minutes to run out there and then 5 minutes to run back? That way, I'll know that it can be done before I make the attempt. Here, I'll mark it on this map. It's right here. Well, okay, I'm going in that direction anyway. Oh, she already started the watch? Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Let us go and head on out and see if I can find this location. Well, I need to come this way to do some scouting and to find a boot. Certainly I have time to scout the area and get to the location without any trouble. I don't know why I'm steering too far from the wolf. We now know that they do take some time to threaten you before jumping out and attacking. It's unlike some other areas. Maybe I should have taken the Kraban quest before heading out this way. Right, because I need to scout the road. Ah, here is the road right over here. Okay. This is the meaning of ways that Ellery described. Portions of the road are overgrown and lack cobbles, but you see no sign of any raiders. Okay. So let's proceed a little bit more north. How about... Oh! I just realized that I didn't pick up all the Kingswell I need. I guess because I was running out of that place so quickly after the... let's take care of this Uruk. Okay, well, I found an Uruk. Uruk Slayer, a Swan Fleet. Wonderful! Simply wonderful. Kill many Uruks. Alright, there we go. So what I want to do is, I don't want to spend too much time to it. We still got 2.5 minutes there, so I'm practically, actually I think right now I am at the boot. Oh, we got a brigand here though who, let's make sure that he's a real brigand and that he's not here. A suspicious object in the mud might have been Gerald's favorite boot. Okay, here we are. Here's a pile of mud. You pull an old and very dirty boot from the mud. It was really stuck in there. Alright. Well, see why he had so much trouble getting his foot out. So now, let us... you spot... This is a spot I'll describe. Strangely, there is a basket of ball of string in here. And a brigand, apparently. There we go. And a bear and a man with a stick. Though I suppose I shouldn't speak much about people going around carrying sticks in the battle, since I am a warden after all. It's just that my sticks are a little bit pointier. Now, let's see. Oh, yeah, I need to speak to Allah first, since she's on the timed quest.
You made it!
And I had to admit that I was not sure that you'd be able to go out there and come back in time, but you did. So, did you see anything when you got out there? I saw a basket with a ball of string inside of it. beside the Wade water. That sounds rather strange. Yes, I do see. That is most peculiar after all. Yes, thank you for your help.
You are not going to believe this.
Well, I'm going to believe that there are a few moments before she gets to the next stair so that I don't have to rush out right away. Besides, I need to speak to Ellery.
You say you saw no sign of Uruk warbands along the road? These are good tidings.
That means that the road is still a boon for Mossward, and not a bane, as I feared that it might become. I did see a lone Uruk scout, though, while I was just north of the road. Well, that road has been a key to Mossward's survival for my entire life, Pine Leaf. The portion of it that we know begins at Tharbad, and although the road itself is broken in places and obscured by foliage, it runs through the Swanfleet and passes on into the Enedwythe. From there, it enters Dunland, leads through the Gap of Rohan, and continues on into Gondor. They say that it passes Minas Tirith and eventually ends at a port city along the coast, although I have never journeyed into that land. North of Tharbad, the road has another name. It's called the Greenway, and only Menelder's people are like to remember when it and our own Old South Road were one and the same. The North-South Road between the kingdoms of Arnor and Gondor. That was a long time ago, even by their reckoning.
I have one more request of you, and then I will be satisfied.
This may be more dangerous than your earlier scoutings, and if you hesitate to accept the task, I'll understand. The old city of Tharbad is to the northwest of Mossward. It has not been the thriving center of trade it was during the height of the earlier kingdoms for hundreds of years, and it has been abandoned ever since the floodwaters took the last of its great bridges. Abandoned by good folk, Pine Leaf. Has it become a den of Uruks? Is it there from that their Mathrung's raiding party came? This, then, is my dangerous request. I ask that you go to the gates of Tharbad and look for some signs of the insignia he wore, the mark of the white hand. Oh, but beware! For if Tharbad is truly held by the forces of evil, you may be better served by keeping from their notice and not engaging in battle. Tharbad is to the northwest of Mossberg. Just go to the gate, mind you, and no further. That's because I think something like level 14 mobs in there or something like that. And we saw earlier how one little war could give me some trouble. Well, what do you say?
You are not going to believe this.
Yes. Oh, yes, I really appreciate your help in that. When I go to complete the dare, now I know how to do it, and it's possible that that's going to make a big difference. But you're not going to believe this. The bully has issued a second dare. He must know that I am well prepared to finish the first one, so he's already made up his second one. Will you help me to this one too? I simply must know if this is possible. And the same rules are in play this time as there was with the first time. 5 minutes out and 5 minutes back. I'll mark the spot on the map as I did before. This time, you're going within view of the flooded city of Tharbad. Well, I have to be going that way in any case, so let us head out and see if I could find this Tharbad for more reasons than one. One of them is actually reasonably serious. I forgot to deliver the muddy boot. I'll have to remember to do that when I get back. Well, yeah, it looks like Tharbad has seen better days, that's for sure. Though I'm not close enough yet to tell if the White Hand is inside of the place. And I do have to keep an eye out for the spot of the dare. Now, what have we got here? I think this is the spot number 2. Here we are. This is the spot Allah described, but odd. A shovel stands abandoned on the dirt over here. Okay, a shovel. All right, well, let's head on back and the perils of Cardalin. Yes, he is already treating you as being in Cardalin. This seems to be the location Ellery described. The harsh cries of orcs can be heard within Tharbad, but I see no markings of the White Hand. As that means that it's safe. Ah, here she is.
Welcome back. I am less surprised this time.
For you are proven quite capable of finishing these dares. Now, I know this one is also possible, and when I do it, I'll have less to fear, even though the Gronas of always getting so near Tharbad is dangerous. Yes, so, what did you see when you got to that location? Anything noticeable? A shovel? Ah, that's very interesting, all right. Thank you once again. That is the last of the Mossboard Bully's dares, so I don't be needing your help anymore, but you have been most helpful and I appreciate it. Well, you're welcome. Okay, fine, that is weird, but then I suppose I should expect that by now. Now, let's see, Ellery.
I am not surprised there are orcs crawling throughout Tharbad.
But it's good to hear that you didn't see the mark of the White Hand while scouting near the gate. Orkine are always a danger to the free peoples, but it is the organization revealed by Mothrang's warband that is most troubling to me. We can deal with the orcs, for we have before, but the Uruks of the White Hand seem very different to me. Thank you for helping ease my mind with these scouting missions. You will always be welcome in Mossward. All right, there we go. We have an iron bracelet of agility. Is that my first bracelet? Apparently so. All right, well. Nice to start to get some proper equipment. Oh, yes. The boot.
You found it. He is going to be so happy.
You should bring the boot to my husband. He used to be an adventurer, you know, and he traveled far and wide helping folk with their problems. Sometimes I think that he fills his head of our boy Tegwin with too many tales of old adventurers. But maybe if he hears about some of yours, he'll satisfy his appetite for such things. Oh, this is Tegwin's mother. I think Gerald is by this north gate, wearing his old leather shoes. Okay. So I will head over to the gate and see if everything is fine. Ah, it is right up here. Here, I found your missing boot.
What is this?
What? Why have you brought this to me? I thought I was rid of it. Uh-oh.
That boot was one half of a pair that was dearest to my heart. They were my adventuring boots.
Those boots represent a life that I gave up to settle down with my wife, Wenna, and now I only want to relive those adventures by telling tales of my exploits to my son, Teg. Now, these boots are my least favorite, for they remind me of those days, and sometimes the memory is painful. I thought that I would just lose one of them. Better that than I wouldn't think that I regret the choice that I made to settle down. But here it is again, and it seems that I'll never be free of it. Did I not bring it far enough away? That must be it. Perhaps you could bring the boot to further afield. Why not show it to one of the villagers in the Storvales? That is pretty far away, and one of the residents of Clegger might be able to use it for such an old, well-worn boot as this. When in doubt, give it to a hobbit. All right. Well, I'm not too sure about that, but all right. Oh, Hello?
Aye.
Well met, adventurer. On behalf of the people of Hlangaran, I thank you for all that you have done for our neighbors here in Mossward. I wish that we were able to fight alongside them, but we weren't aware of the attack until after it was repelled. Still, we would be sure to help them rebuild. You'll never heard of Hlangaran, have you? I would expect that, as we only recently built it. As much, well, than the fact that I come from so far away, I never even heard of Mossward. As such, if you have settled your matters here in Mossward, I would invite you to visit our town north of here along the Wadewater. We had to leave much behind when I left Dunland, and winter approaches quickly. Speak to the leader of Taufreen. I am sure that he'll have plenty of work for an adventurer. Well, we would worry about that later. I think we still have to get to Klager. Oh, and what about you?
I've heard there are many uses to which unassuming objects might be put.
Yes, now I speak of the Cravan and that trouble the hills to the north. If you defeat some of these winged pests and bring me their feathers, doubt not that it will be a marvel at the wide variety of potential uses that these feathers might be put. And it will do the town some good to have fewer of the Cravan hassling travelers along the old south road. Some folk whisper that the birds spy for orcs and other evil creatures, but I do not have any proof of that. Right, okay, so I should go out and collect Cravan feathers. Oh, and also I need to find some suitable branches. I keep on forgetting about that little task that somebody gave me. So I need to find suitable branches and defeat Cravan. Oh, of course, if I'm going to pick up suitable branches, I need to actually be able to spot them. Oh wait, do I see a black bird flapping in the distance? Ooh, I picked up ambush. I think I picked that up at something at level 5 or something like that. Actually, more likely at level 6, because I think you pick up such odd little skills like that at level 6, and that the odd ones are when you pick up the trait points. There you go, 2 feathers. Now, I have no idea why I'm getting 1 feather off of each bird. You would think that there'd be more than one, or that he's looking for one specific feather from the bird and that we ignore the rest of them. That would be rather wasteful, I think. So which feather am I taking off of those birds? I mean, it's got quite a number of them. Well, who knows? Here's a group that's flying in formation. Well, they're level 6. Okay. It's not like that there are a huge number of them. And it looks like they're not aggressive enough to... Oh, and they're greenies. Oh, I don't know why I was worried in the first place. I know, I guess after that wolf den, I'm a bit nervous about several mobs all together. Here are your feathers.
There you are. Let us see those feathers.
They really look quite dirty, aren't they? No matter, these will serve very nicely for making quills. See, you just dip this part into the... no, they're a bit too much give on the feathers here. Well, perhaps a paintbrush, yes. It feels like the ridges here there would leave streaks, though, doesn't it? Maybe it's an arrow. See how it compares to these arrows? These will compare rather poorly, I suppose. Still, many fine uses. Perhaps I will put them into a sack and see how it serves as a pillow.
But such musings will have to wait, for winter is approaching and autumn doesn't last.
If the storehouses are not stored with salted and preserved boar meat by the time the nights turn cold, Mossford will go hungry. Unless the Uruks come back, I suppose. No, I Don't tell anyone that I said that. It wasn't funny. But we always have need for boar meat. All right, so I will collect boar meat for you. And while that happens, I will also look for boar, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. I tend to find them all over the place. Ah, here's one right over here. Hey, nothing personal, but ouch! Alright, I'll find that. Meanwhile, went my way towards the guard that asked me to pick up some branches. Ah, here he is.
Thank you for these branches. I will see to making use of them.
Okay, good. I can tell that we need to replace some of the areas around here. This has been the life of Mossburg Town Guard ever since they took me on. If Uruks are loose in Swanfleet, they may be about to change. Yes, in other words.
Perhaps you could help me once again.
Yes, they say that change comes slowly, and for now I have other matters to which I must attend. Or perhaps you could help me with one of them again? Yes, that's the spirit. Now, there won't be any Uruks to face this time, but until last night, this was the most common complaint about the townsfolk. Ellery says that we should handle simple things first, right? Well, what could be more simple than doing something about the squeaky hinges in Mossward? Cadigan insists that he ran outside to attack the raiding Uruks, but that they were alerted by the approaching of the loud squeak of the door to his home. I'm not sure that I believe that story, for it's much more likely that he was running into his house when the hinges gave him away, but who can say that for certain? All the same, Scotty Benblade should have a bottle of grease that you could use for the hinges. Right, okay, before I do that, I need to collect that last piece of king's foil. Behind a rock and way out of the way. No wonder I missed it before. And I also, of course, forgot all about that treasure cache. Of course, I walked in the wrong direction. Yeah, I can get lost anywhere. Ah, there it is. Of course, there's also a wolf there, but I handled those 3 levels ago, right? Well, except for a certain warg, but that's another matter. Here we go. Now I can open it. Treasure of Swanfleet. Let's get out of here. Here's the king's soil.
Greetings.
Thank you. With this, I should have more than enough to continue tending to the injured, perhaps with a little extra in case an emergency comes to pass. Okay, good. Oh yeah, I still have that person to speak with. Well, that can wait. I do need to deliver the cuts of meat. Very good, very good.
Very good. This boar meat should help carry Mossward through some of the coldest winter months.
When they'll carry us through the months when belts must be tightened and plates seem lightest, I am glad that this task at least has proved helpful for the town. I have abandoned my idea of using the Graban feathers. A number of uses. My wife said the number might as well have been 0 after she tried the pillow that I made for them. Bevan, you fool, she said to me. It takes more than 8 feathers to make a pillow, and anyone who tries it with Graban feathers of all things deserves the crimp that it will leave in the neck. I suppose the good ideas that spring up in the autumn, well, they fall when winter comes. I'd rather deal with the threat of an Uruk warband loose in Swanfleet than present my wife with another one of my brand new ideas. I think I'll stick to guarding the town from now on. It's less damaging to my morale. With that settled, I think it's time for us to talk to the blacksmith. But that'll wait till the next episode of Vale of the Pine.